Far out on a forgotten world, deep within a jagged valley framed by mountain peaks that cut the sky like ancient blades, there stood a temple older than memory. No maps marked its location, and no traveler dared to linger near it. Whispers claimed. It held a secret capable of shifting the course of the galaxy, a power too dangerous to control. The temple's walls were etched with glowing symbols that pulsed gently under the dim gaze of twin moons. For centuries, alien warriors from distant systems had braved the void to find this place. None had returned. The reason was always the same. At the heart of the temple lay the forbidden armor, a relic of untold power that defied any who sought to wear it. Those who tried were consumed, skins scorched, minds shattered, leaving behind only ruin and silence. The armor's legend echoed in hushed tones across the galaxy's most ancient empires. It was said to have been forged in a war so distant in time that all written records had been lost, save for the warnings. It promised incredible strength, speed, and abilities far beyond the reach of even the most advanced technology. But it was cursed. It chose its own bearer, and only one deemed worthy would survive its embrace. Whole legions had tried to claim it. All had failed. The world became known as Death World, a planet cloaked in dread and myth, avoided even by the boldest explorers. Then one day, a small Earth ship appeared in orbit. Aboard was Captain Arian, a seasoned soldier known for his calm resolve and fearless heart. He had heard the stories but refused to believe in curses. His mission was simple: investigate the temple, confirm the armor's existence. But nothing could prepare him for what waited beneath the twin moons. Because their strikes were surgical and relentless, hitting with an icy precision that pierced every flaw in human defenses. Each eruption in the void echoed a brutal truth. This war was about more than dominance. It was about survival. Arian felt the burden of the forbidden armor pressing heavier on him with each second, not merely shielding him but challenging him to reach deeper, to draw strength he never believed he had. As the skies above roared with chaos, far beneath the crust of Death World, a different war smoldered, one of espionage and buried truths. Here, spies and scavengers navigated forgotten ruins, chasing whispers of a hidden force that might decide the galaxy's fate. Trust was crumbling. Lieutenant Mira, Arian's most trusted aide, detected strange transmissions pulsing from deep within the planet, signals unlike any known tongue or system. Her thoughts raced, haunted by what ancient technologies might lie restless below. Aboard the command ship, systems failed in sudden bursts. Energy surges flickered like phantoms, and Arian realized the enemy was not just storming from without, but sabotaging from within, using weapons no human mind had ever conceived. Tension gripped every corridor. Engineers scrambled to maintain power. Soldiers braced for boarding. The boundaries between ally and infiltrator blurred dangerously. In the heart of the Shadow Legion's dark flagship, their leaders convened, in chilling silence, finalizing their brutal strategy. The arrival of the forbidden armor had forced their hand. They would now unleash their hidden trump card, an ancient relic buried in Death World's core, designed to undo the armor's power. Their supreme commander, Carrick, watched the battlefield with a cruel grin, certain that victory was now within reach. Arian, too, sensed a deeper threat, a saboteur moving unseen within their ranks like a ghost. With grim resolve, he ordered a covert squad into the planet's depths to disable the relic before it could be triggered. Mira would lead them, no one else could. As she readied herself, the weight of uncertainty grew heavier than armor. Her team descended into the planet's dead heart, their footsteps echoing through shadowed halls of stone, every step stirring. Ancient dust and dread. Strange runes faintly pulsed on the walls, the air chilled. This place wasn't abandoned, it remembered. Danger lurked behind every silence. Above, the war dragged on, a furious stalemate. Arian's heart warred between duty and hope, hope that Mira would find and disarm the hidden doom before it could be awakened. If not, all they had fought for would be lost in fire. The armor throbbed with urgency, urging Arian to move, to strike, to endure. But even it knew one warrior could not bear this burden alone. Just when hope began to dim, a sudden blast tore through the enemy fleet, sowing havoc. Arian seized the moment, leading a fearless charge against the enemy's command vessel, fury blazing in his heart. Above Deathworld, the heavens lit with the fire of destiny. Below, Mira's team reached the chamber. What lay within chilled. Their souls, an engine of ancient might, humming with malignant life, waiting for a hand to wield or silence it. She had no time. The fate of their worlds now rested on her decision. The enemy closed in from every side. Time was shattering. In the heart of shadow and silence, the true crucible of will began, not just of war, but of legacy and soul. The Kako skies writhed in violence above, while below, Mira crept through a darkness older than memory, her heartbeat loud in the hush. Her fingers brushed the alien device, dark, pulsing, almost breathing. A single misstep could unleash ruin. Her team stood ready behind her, silent but afraid. The room was thick with dread, like fog wrapping a blade. Arian's battered vessel endured, and though he fought fiercely, his spirit clung to the hope that Mira would succeed, because if the relic was triggered, no valor could shield them from annihilation. On the bridge, lights blinked, alarms cried, and faces tightened with urgency. Yet all that seemed frail beneath the creeping unknown. Mira noticed the walls shifting, symbols flickered as she touched them. Then came visions, battles, ruins, sorrow. A power that had shaped empires. It wanted to speak through her. The knowledge hit like stone, staggering her. This was not just a weapon. It was memory. It was wrath. It was alive. And it was waiting. Then, a noise. Heavy footsteps. The silence had been broken. The echo of enemy soldiers came fast through the tunnels. Mira heard the rhythm of boots and weapons and knew time was slipping away. She barked a command to her squad, and they moved, forming a defensive line within the narrow passage, weapons raised, hearts pounding. The shadow of the enemy pressed so close it felt like breath on their necks. Every inhale became a silent war cry. They waited in tense silence for the attack that would decide everything. In orbit, Arian saw a flicker on his command screen, a message from Mira. Just a few words. We have found it. Prepare for the worst. His gut clenched, yet instead of fear, steel filled his heart. Whatever came next would reshape the war and perhaps the fate of humanity itself. Behind him, the forbidden armor pulsed with light and ancient energy. Arian felt that same power stirring in his blood. It urged him forward, whispering strength into every muscle, daring him to keep fighting. Suddenly, the enemy broke into Mira's chamber with force. They charged in with weapons blazing, but Mira's team didn't flinch. They fought with the desperation of people who knew they stood between annihilation and survival. The tunnels erupted in a storm of chaos, shouts, fire, the clash of old metal against modern tech. It was as if the past and future collided in that cavern. Time warped. Each second stretched endlessly, then snapped tight again. Mira moved through the chaos toward the artifact. Her instincts guided her hand as she reached for it, just as a blast of energy ripped through the chamber. It flung everyone back like leaves in a storm. As she slammed against the wall, Mira's mind ignited with visions, worlds burning, others reborn, and a voice, cold and ancient, whispering a single warning. This power is not meant to be held lightly. Her hand trembled, but she held steady, breathing slow. The fate of millions hung on her next move. Above, Arian's fleet was locked in furious combat. He led the charge, driving deep into the enemy formation, striking with precision. His voice filled the command deck as he called out maneuvers, each one pushing the enemy back. The tide began to shift. Hope flickered in the void. Down in the tunnels, the enemy wavered. One by one, they fell to Mira's team, unable to resist the mysterious energy now crackling through the air. And then Mira saw it, a small panel hidden under cracked stone. Her hand moved with care, fingers brushing dust and time aside. One press would shut it all down, or doom them. She chose. Light erupted. Sound crashed through the chamber. The ground shook. The walls moaned. And then, silence. Thick. Heavy. The breath after a scream. Survivors gasped for air. Mira stood exhausted and sent a final message. Artifact is down. Fight with everything. In space, Arian read the message. His heart surged. This was their moment. The battle turned savage. The enemy, stunned by the loss of their secret weapon, fought with renewed desperation. But Arian's fleet responded with fire and unity. Human warships weaved through the stars like blades of light, cutting enemy formations apart. Every success drove back despair. The skies above Deathworld were painted with explosions and fire, a galaxy's rage unleashed. Yet Arian knew the true. Battle was happening below, in the tunnels where Mira had faced the forbidden power and survived. Reports came through. The enemy was retreating in the tunnels. Something had changed. The artifact's fall echoed across the battlefield like a thunderclap. Arian's voice rang through the fleet. This is our moment. Show them what humans are made of. His words burned into the hearts of every pilot, every gunner, every soul fighting in the void. Mira regrouped her squad. Bloodied, bruised, but alive. Around them, the remnants of the artifact still hummed faintly. The ancient energy had been tamed, at least for now. The war wasn't won, but a corner had been turned. They had proven that humanity was not alone. And, not so easily broken, above, Arian shifted tactics. He moved from defense to something sharper, more aggressive. His ships struck with calculated fury. Wherever the enemy seemed strong, they struck harder. Wherever the enemy showed weakness, they tore through like lightning. In that moment, humanity did not seem small. The stars shimmered. Human vessels burned with light and will, carving trails of defiance into the dark. Even the most ruthless alien. Commanders hesitated. Their machines cracked. Their formations faltered. And Arian, driven by memories of Earth and all who waited there, refused to let up. Then he gave the order. His flagship's energy cannon charged and released a devastating pulse. It tore through enemy ships like a tidal wave. Shields shattered. Hulls splintered. The message was clear. Humanity was no longer a passive target. It had become a force to reckon with. Mira received a message in return. Arian's voice was calm but firm. We're still in this. Stay strong. She passed it along to her squad, who found a new well of strength in those words. They weren't just fighting to survive anymore. They were fighting to win, for a future where they could dream again. In the quiet moments between battles, whispers traveled the fleet. Stories about the forbidden armor, about how only a human had been able to approach it. The myth grew. Soldiers spoke of courage, of destiny. Some believed the armor had chosen its wielder. Others believed it was humanity's own spirit made manifest. Arian believed something else, that the true strength of humans came not from machines or miracles, but from their stubborn, unshakable will to protect what they loved. On Deathworld, the fires of war dimmed but never died. Arian stood at his command window, staring at the stars. They flickered like distant promises. Each light could mean life. or loss. Yet he did not look away. He stood ready, but the calm didn't last. The enemy, stung by their losses, began to regroup. This time, they planned something worse. A devastating counterstrike meant to crush Earth's rising momentum before it could fully bloom. Arian felt it coming. In the silence that followed their victory, he sensed it. A tension in the void. Sensors twitched, scanners blinked. His crew waited, and the space around them grew cold and quiet. Too quiet. He sounded the alert. Every ship prepared. Far below, Mira and her team worked fast, repairing systems, helping local survivors, and guarding what remained of the artifact. The native settlers, once distant and suspicious, now saw the humans as protectors. Trust had begun to take root, but the storm arrived. The enemy returned in numbers no one had seen before. Warships blackened the stars, moving as one, a terrible tide. Their weapons tore across space in flashes of brutal light. The human fleet answered, fire with fire, steel with courage. Arian gave orders with calm urgency. He guided his fleet through chaos. The enemy's secret weapon had to be close, and it was. It revealed itself, a warship unlike any other. Black as void, absorbing all light, pulsing with unnatural power. It moved like death itself, and its presence shook even the most seasoned soldiers. Arian's voice never wavered. Form. The shield. Protect the vulnerable. Hit the weak points. His fleet obeyed. Fast attack ships dove toward the enemy behemoth. They struck again and again, peeling layers of armor, forcing it to reveal its heart. But the alien ships struck back with a ferocity that bent steel and spirit alike. On Deathworld, Mira saw the reports. Her hands tightened around her gear. She led her squad to help defend the last outposts. Every gun counted now. Above, the battle raged to its peak. Arian's flagship was hit, hard. He slammed into a wall, dazed, blood on his brow, but he rose again, unwavering. This wasn't about one man. It was about everything, everyone, the massive. Enemy weapon began to fail. Its strange energy flickered, no longer matching the fire of human will. And with one final strike, guided by Arian himself, it was destroyed. The void lit up in a wave of fire, brighter than dawn. The enemy fleet faltered. The battle was won. But the cost was immense. Ships lost, friends gone. Yet the shield had held. Humanity's hope had survived. Arian stood once more at the command window, bruised but alive. Around him, his people cheered, not for revenge, not for victory, but for survival, for each other. In the aftermath, word of the battle spread across space, of the forbidden armor, of Arian's stand, of Mira's defiance. And something changed. The galaxy began to listen, because when the darkness came, it found not fear, but fire, and that fire had a name: humanity.